and welcome back to another GUBotDev STEM Kit activity tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about the Stomp rocket activity that you found in your activity kit. We're going to be going through the process of making the Stomp rocket launcher as well as the rockets themselves. So once you open up your kit, you're going to see a bunch of different materials that were supplied to you. You're going to have a couple different lengths of PVC pipe, a couple different PVC pipe fittings, both T's and end caps. You're going to have a water bottle provided to you, so you need an empty water bottle for this. Then you're going to have some tapes and a rocket template. In this video, we're actually just going to be making a rocket from a blank piece of paper, but from the template provided, you can follow the instructions and make your own rocket. There's a lot of variability in that, so you can be creative and make something fun or different sized or anything that you want. So we'll get started with the actual launcher assembly itself. So for the launcher itself, all you're going to need is the PVC provided, the water bottle, and then the tape. So we'll start with the PVC itself and actually assemble those components first. So what you're going to want to do is take one of the long pieces of PVC, lay it flat, and assemble it as follows. And that's all it takes for the PVC assembly itself. It's pretty straightforward, and then you end up with your launcher without the water bottle. So then what you're going to want to do is take your empty water bottle and slip it onto the end of the PVC so that the pipe goes into the water bottle a little bit. You don't want to be too far into it, you just want to be an inch or two into the bottle itself. Then you're going to take your tape and tape the water bottle onto the PVC securely so that it doesn't come off. So simply take a long piece of tape, wrap it around the tip of the water bottle and the PVC. Doesn't have to be pretty, just needs to stay on there. Give it a good tight squeeze. Make sure it's not going to slide off. And if you need to add more tape, be sure to do that. There we go. So now your rocket launcher is assembled and ready to go. You want to make sure that these fittings are pressed in tightly and that it's free to move a little bit, but you don't want it to be falling apart. These end caps need to be pressed on as tight as you can so that when you stomp on the water bottle, these don't fly off instead. So now we'll move on to the actual rocket process, which will vary depending on how you want to build these. For the construction of the actual paper rocket, you're going to be provided with a template in your activity kit that you can follow through using the manual there. In my instance, I'm actually just taking some pieces that I cut out of a piece of paper and going to be assembling them together. So you can really be creative with the rocket design and use the guide that came in your kit, or do something a little bit more, unique and with different pieces of paper, different colors or designs, and you can really do whatever you want and have fun here. But in my instance, I have 4 different pieces of paper that will actually be the construction of the rocket. You have the main fuselage, which is kind of a long rectangular piece. I have 3 fins in this instance, so shorter rectangular pieces. And then the nose cone is actually just a circle with a cut in the center of it, going from the center to the outside edge, which allows you to make it into the cone shape. So what we're going to do here is actually start with the body of the rocket. And you're going to want to have your launcher assembly nearby because it makes this step much easier. So what you want to do is actually take one of the pieces of the PVC, probably the top one, which is easy to get to, and you're going to take the body of your rocket and wrap it around it so that it fits exactly to the PVC. So you want to roll it as tight as you can, hold it in place, and then you're going to need tape handy because you're going to tape this paper tube together at this point. So you take a piece of tape and tape it together and do that down along the whole long edge of this tube. There. Now you have a tube of paper that perfectly matches up to the PVC that it's going to be launching off of. So you can actually leave this on the PVC itself because it will help with attaching the fins, but the next step we're going to do is making the nose cone. So you can set this down for a second and then take the nose cone piece, which is either the circle or the cutout from your guide in the activity kit. But for the actual circle piece, all you're doing is you're going to take one edge and overlap it over the other and kind of roll it together. And you'll see as you roll it, it will go into the shape of a cone. So you can roll it as tight as you want, but you generally want to match the diameter of this cone to the diameter of the tube that you had just made, so when you attach it onto it, it doesn't stick too far over the edge of the fuselage itself. So once you get the general shape, you're going to hold this tight and take a piece of tape and tape this so that it stays in shape. And now you have your nose cone. So to attach this to your rocket, it gets a little bit messy with the tape here, but all you're going to do is you're going to place the nose cone on the top and then wrap a piece of tape around the base of the nose cone. Or you can use a couple pieces of tape if you need to. And it doesn't have to be perfect, you just need the nose cone to be attached so it doesn't fall off. It helps with the aerodynamics of the rocket so that it goes in the direction you want to go. So now you have your nose cone attached to your rocket, and what we're going to do next is attach the fins to the base. So you want to leave the PVC inserted here so that the rocket stays rigid. It makes the fin attachment much easier. So what you're going to do for this is take your fin, fold it in half, and then you're going to take a short strip at the base on each of the sides and fold it back up. And do it on the opposite side. And then these give you little flaps that you can actually use to tape this to the body of your rocket. So we're going to do that here. So you're going to take this, place it onto the fuselage near the bottom, and tape this edge onto the body of your rocket. And do the same thing on the other side. And now you have one of your fins attached to your rocket. You can add more tape here or less if you need it. It just depends on how well it attaches. But you're going to do the same thing for your other two fins, or 3 fins if you're doing a 4-fin rocket design. You can have as many or as few fins as you'd like. Again, this is up to your creativity, and you can see how different rockets fly with different amounts of fins. So I'm going to attach the other 2 fins here now. Then once you have your fins attached, you can take the rocket off the tube and put the tube back into the launcher. And then you have a simple rocket design. Now this isn't the cleanest looking rocket, but it'll work in our case. And you can spend more time on it to make it look really nice, or to make a bunch of them as quick as you want. It's up to you. But at this point, your design is completed. So what you're going to want to do to actually launch this is take the rocket, and you want to place it onto the launching tube as far down as it'll go. Don't push too hard or else it'll knock the cone off. And then to fire it, you're simply going to stomp on the bottle itself, which will build up pressure in the tube. And since this is the easiest place for the air to get off, it will actually launch the rocket off of the tube. You're going to want to be careful with this because you can launch these pretty fast, so don't point them towards anything that might get broken or hurt. So keep it pointed away from you or any of your family or friends. Preferably do it outside if you can. Thank you again for watching. Enjoy your bottle rockets, and we'll see you next time.